in addition to modifying elements of the page that are already there, I can actually add, modify different elements, or even remove elements from the page using jQuery. And again, it's all very simple using jQuery's commands. So for example, if I wanted to add items to this list here, I could use the tag-based selector for the list because there's only one list on my page. If there was more than one list, I might want to use the ID, which is my list, but I can use this. And if I want to add something to the end of this list, it's going to go inside the UL. So that's where I'm appending this, is it's going inside that tag, but at the end of what's already there. So append, and then I'm going to give it another list item, and that can include HTML because I'm adding an element. Okay, so if I save that, there we go. 3 has been added to the end, still inside the list. Now, if I want to add to the beginning inside the list, so inside the UL, but before the other elements inside, then I'm going to use prepend. So I'm going to do the same thing, UL, and then dot prepend, and then I'm going to give it a list item, and I'll start with 0. And when I hit save, you can see now we have a 0 added to the beginning of that list. Now let's say I don't want to add something inside that list. I want to actually add something after the list. How would I add something after the list? In that case, I'm actually going to use the ID selector because I need it to, I want to make sure that I add it directly after this. Or let's say, actually, in fact, let's add it between local data and my list, or local data and the elements ID. So let's add it right after local data. So we're going to say $, and then hashtag local data. And then we're going to type after, and div class highlight, just one L in there. There we go. And I'm going to put the whole element there. And we'll just put some highlighted text in there. And you can see I've now added a highlighted text div right after that local data. So I can add that very easily. And if I wanted to add that before that piece, you guessed it, I'm just going to type before. So when I use append and prepend, you need to remember that is inside this element at the beginning, and or at the end rather, append, and inside that element at the beginning. Okay, inside the element at the beginning is prepend, and append is at the end, but inside that element. If I actually want to add before that element or after, then I'm going to use before and after. So that is a way to add elements. Now, if I want to remove an element that's there, it's pretty simple. I'm just going to refer to that as a remove. So if I want to get rid of that list altogether, UL. Now I need to be careful. If I've got more than one list in my document, I'm going to remove all of them. So maybe I want to say my list, and I'm just going to say remove, and there it goes. It's just gone like that. So really easy, and that actually gets rid of it. Now, if I want to empty out a container but not delete it, like let's say I want to get rid of this text inside the highlighted container, but I don't want to get rid of that container, that's pretty easy too. I can say, and I'm just going to use my class-based selector. So I'm going to say highlight, if I spell it right, there we go, highlight dot empty. And I give parentheses, but nothing in them. And you can see Now that one goes away because a div that doesn't have anything in it is just going to disappear. But if I wanted to say, let's empty all the list items, let's see what happens. So the list items are still there, but they are all empty. So you can empty out any kind of container and it is still there, although a div like this doesn't display unless it has something in it. So you need to understand how the browser works in order to make sure that things are going to display the way you expect them to.